Ammunition Theater Company and Chhibber Mann Productions came together to host the event on behalf of My Friend's Place and Lost in America. My Friend's Place is a charity that helps the homeless youth community,
and Lost in America is a film that talks about the pandemic of youth homelessness in the United States. So we felt like there was some synergy there, and we're both companies that are based in creative activism, which is trying to affect the world in a positive manner through art.
Mm-hmm. When did you guys first kind of realize this was such a big issue? Because it's a big issue in general, but also with LGBT youth, it's a really big issue.
Yeah, well, as you know, 40 to 50% of homeless youth are LGBT. Vinny and I have started Chhibber Mann Productions about a year and a half ago, specifically to create content that has aspects of social awareness. Pro-social content is what we call it. And we got together and said, what issues do we want to tackle?
And this was one of them. And then what was it, about 6 months ago?
About 6 months ago,
we got an email from Steve Vasquez, who's one of the producers on Lost in America, asking us to meet to talk about it. We went in, we saw the footage, and my Lord, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it's something we really feel most Americans just don't know about. Mm-hmm. So we feel like this gives us an opportunity to tell that story.
We didn't even know about it. I mean, it's sort of easy to assume that you know, and you're like, oh yeah, there are homeless people. Oh yeah, maybe those people over there are homeless for a little bit, or those, but you don't really.
The numbers are startling.
Yeah.
It's 1.7 million children
youth on the streets every year
in the United States, and you just wouldn't know.
Yeah, like in Los Angeles, it's about 7,000, with 40% of them being LGBT.
And My Friend's Place actually works with about a third of them all year round. So every day they're open. It's kind of like an oasis for these kids. It's a day center, education, the arts, everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so people see the film, or they hear about this night, or they hear about My Friend's Place. What can they do to actually do some help if they're not here in Los Angeles?
If they're not here in Los Angeles, they can go to lostinamericafilm.com and check out the film, check out the stats.
Check out the footage.
Check out the footage. Sorry. Check out the footage
of the
film.
We're actually in post-production right now. So we're aiming for Sundance. Knock on wood.
Fingers and toes crossed.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough with that mic, but come on.
And then My Friend's Place website.
My Friend's Place, or you can go to chmanproductions.com or amotheater.com. We've got information about both those organizations and projects on there as well.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny to think that we're in Los Angeles, which is so affluent and so glamorous, yet it's such an issue here. How do even kids find out about this and what they can do if they really feel lost and alone and they don't know where to go? They don't know about the LGBT Center. How would you recommend they find help?
Well, I mean, the LGBT Center is the largest LGBT organization in the United States. I think it's the world, and they have locations all across Los Angeles. So, a youth, we've both visited the youth drop-in center, which is a couple blocks away from here, many times, and they say that youth will just come in off the streets, walk in, and say, "I need help." And they'll take them in. They'll, not only is it
what they're there to do.
Food and shelter and whatever, but it's where, like, what do you need help? Do you, like, where do you feel like we can be the most benefit to you? Is it Is it education? Is it getting a job? Is it just basic food and shelter? So the LGBT Center is wonderful, and we love to work with them.
And I should also say that it's not just about children. It's about people like you, Mike, myself. This gives them the opportunity to start a dialogue with these kids so that you don't just walk past them like it's someone in need. Mm-hmm. And so we hope that this spurs that type of behavior.
So people in the back. From your experience, why is it LGBT youth that are hit so hard with this homelessness problem? Why does it have to do with their sexuality? Is it about being rejected from families? What is that about?
So many reasons. I mean, as you'll see in the documentary, we sort of examine youth homelessness from three aspects. It's home isn't safe, so drugs, violence, something like that. Home doesn't want them, and most often that's LGBT. And home isn't there, and that's usually dealing with economic issues. The whole family loses their home. And so, number two, home doesn't want them. A lot of these kids, if they're in the foster care system, they don't want to adopt an LGBT kid, or a lot of these shelters are actually run by religious organizations. So not only are you homeless on the streets, nowhere to go,
you're being judged.
You're being judged and saying, "I'm sorry, we don't welcome you here."
Yeah.
And that's just, and it happens so much
and at that
more
age,
than people think.
it just beats you down. So yeah.